Jesus, Lord, we thank you, Lord, for helping us, God, to be more like you, God. Thank you, Lord, for healing and delivering us and setting us free right now. And we thank you for everything you've done, everything you're going to do. In Jesus' name we pray, we say amen.
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 I was thinking, last time we were here last month, we talked about dating, courting, love the right way. And the thing that caught my attention when I wanted to do, even we can discuss things what we spoke about last time. What I thought about was even if you want to say kind of part two of that subject, also leading to something that was really kind of on me, and that was about our purpose. I think a lot of times we ask God for our purpose, we search for our purpose, and that purpose is not just pertaining to what our niche is, what our gift, what our calling is, but also which will segue from courting, dating, along with being able to be prepared for when opportunity comes. And I think a lot of times it's real easy for us to be able to have somebody to tell us, and we already into it, like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, he been singing, performing ever since he was small. So pretty much nobody really had to tell him, hey, look, you know what? I think you'll be a great entertainer. He was performing before he understood what entertainment was. And like I said, him becoming one of the greatest entertainers. But a lot of us ain't like that. A lot of us right now, we may not have had some of the privileges that some people have had. There are some people who grew up with silver spoon in their mouth. Some people grew up in a family that's financially well. Matter of fact, when I was growing up, I used to see a lot of bodybuilders, and a lot of the successful bodybuilders, that's what they did full time. They didn't have a full-time job. They didn't have to go to school. They were committed to bodybuilding. They spent hours in the gym. They were able to get their rest. They were able to eat. They had the finances to be able to eat the right protein, the chicken breast grilled, and the potatoes with the skins on them and all that stuff. Versus us. We'll eat ramen noodles for carbs, and we eat bean and sausage for protein. Mm-hmm. You know, and when it comes down to people like us, if you want to say just common folk, I think a lot of times it frustrates us when we see other people into their groove, and sometimes people can point out things within us, and it's frustrating when we don't see it ourselves. You know, and so, like I said, there's a couple things I want to kind of share with y'all, and especially even from, not just from my observation, but even from what I've seen in other successful people. I look at, I always talk about wrestling. I look at Vince McMahon. Even though that's in the entertainment field or whatever, but there was a point where he had nothing. He risked it all. He gambled it all, even from WrestleMania. He sold his house. I think he put his house, I think he put a lien on his house, all his property, everything, and he just used everything. He invested, he engulfed himself in everything in that WrestleMania. And he didn't start off in the wrestling? No. He was WWF? Yeah, he never started as a wrestler. Actually, his father was a promoter, but what people didn't realize, Vince McMahon actually lived with his mother. He got reconnected with his father when he became an adult. He was broke. His father is Vincent J. McMahon. Okay. And when Vincent Kennedy McMahon, WWF, WWE, when he reached out to his father gave him a job with doing announcing and broadcasting and all that stuff. So just hired on to take the father position. He saw it on from the father.
Yeah.
And then eventually, when his father, he bought it from his father, it coming from his father, and one thing led to another, he started
He took off with
getting into territories. He started getting into territories, and like I said, he gambled into WrestleMania. Now, it's a long story behind it, but just the meat of it is he started off with nothing. And he gambled with what he had, which was very little. And like I said, he invested everything he had into that one event. And then eventually, it's kind of like how some people bet. They get all their money, and then whatever they earn, they kind of have it to the side, and then gamble with the earnings that they make off. So that's kind of the way I saw him do it. But also, him being known as the world's greatest promoter, he invested in himself. And also being able to invest into himself, which being able to talk about brand and your partners. So I want to kind of talk about that. So going back to with the dating, recording, where we were coming from last time, just being able to look at when we are in the right relationship that possibly could be leading up to marriage. The main thing is looking at if this person that you choose, male or female, if this person that you choose, are they mature enough to handle where you're going? A lot of times they think about themselves, but you have to look at, are they mature enough to handle what you have going on? And vice versa. You know you're willing to be supportive, you're the type, you're going to be there for your boo, you're going to, everything that they trying to do, you're going to help them accomplish it. But also at the same token, you want to make sure that it's reciprocated. Because they may be willing to accept your help. But if they're not willing to help you in your thing, then that's a toxic relationship. To me, anything that's unhealthy, anything that's unbalanced, that's toxic. And no matter what percentage it is, eventually that percentage will grow. So it's best to go ahead, I would say, it's best to know if you already know that it's been on the ground and it's dog dropping and all that stuff. I don't care how many seconds it's been on the ground. Would you eat it? The 5-7 rule, you ain't gonna apply it pertaining to the ground that's nasty and dirty. 2 seconds or 2 minutes. The end result is still filthy. That's what I look at. So when it pertains to a relationship, like I said, a relationship where you coming to the table with something, you already know that they're coming to the table. Well, you have established that they're coming to the table with something, and you're coming to the table with something. You want to make sure that along with you being able to help them, they're able to help you, but also making sure that they still allow you to have your identity. I said allow because some people, they don't want you to keep your identity. They want you to become them. And if it's like that, I tell people, look here, forget about well, let's just be friends. If you already know that person is toxic, a toxic boyfriend, once they get out your life, if you keep them to your life, that's a toxic friend. And they will contaminate your friendship. They may even sabotage your friendships. Not just pertaining to those who are of the opposite sex, but even those of the same sex. Because toxic people, they gossip. Toxic people are messy people. So if you already know that this type of person is like that, pertaining to your heart, imagine what they'll do pertaining to your friendships. So, with that being established, the main thing is knowing that you're coming to the table with Yourself. Yourself, you are a brand. Everybody is a brand. One brand. Now, right now, I'm not going to call your name in this case. But you're a brand, what your name is, you're a brand, I'm a brand. But the brand, look at the brand being a company. You are a company. And I tell people the best way to look at yourself, look at everything that you do, look at every gift, look at every talent that you have. Look at those as products. Like Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Frosted Flakes, that's a product. But they also have different items that they have with the Kellogg logo. Each item that they have is a product. So with you, your name, that's your product, that's your brand, but you may have different gifts. You drive trucks, you do hair. Those are two products right there. A lot of people that may talk to you, a lot of them, they get your advice about things. So if you counsel people, that's a product, that's a gift. You encourage people, that's a product, that's a gift. So each one of those things, each one of those niches that you're good with, each one of your talents, that's a product. So the main thing is with your product, make sure that you're able to understand the value of each product that you have. Now, unfortunately, many times people, they look at themselves, they look and see, well, you know, I just do that. They shortchange what they do. They shortchange what they are. You know, it's like, well, you might be a great dresser. Somebody say, hey man, I like that suit, man. I like that tie. Oh man, I had this for a while. You know, well, just say thank you. You know, just say thank you. A lot of times we'll put down our talent on our product. We think that we kind of being humble, but being humble is just thank you, I appreciate it. That's being humble. But when you put down your product, it's kind of like you become used to not advertising yourself. The more you put down yourself, the more it's sometimes even hard for you to accept appreciation or accept compliments from others. And we do it so subconsciously that it happens without us thinking about it. So then all of a sudden we wonder why nobody supports us. You know. So, but I want to bring up another thing, and I'm gonna speak about this also now. This is my website that I built. I'm not a professional website builder, but I took a chance and my first time doing it. And I'll kind of show you a little bit of what I did. But the reason why I wanted to make sure that I had brought this, because a lot of times when we get ready to talk about ourselves, when we get ready to even want to showcase our talent, our gifts, or whatever, one of the things that we don't really do, we don't take inventory of, you mentioned it earlier, we don't take inventory of all the talents that we have, all the products that we have, but also a lot of times we don't prepare ourselves to showcase our talents or our gifts. You know, one of the things I found out what we have to do, we have to learn to be comfortable with our brand, us. A lot of times, and this me included, we have to work on start being confident about our brand. And in order for us to be confident about our brand, it's best to see ourselves as two different individuals. The person that you are, you may be shy, you may be reserved, you may not like to talk to people, you may not know how to talk to people, you may not know how to introduce yourself to people, or especially when it comes down to an interview. A lot of times, you may cheese up. A lot of times, you get so nervous, but we supposed to be talking about somebody that we're really us, ourselves. person that's talking is who you are. But that person that you see in the mirror is the person you want to become. And if you can speak to that person that you see in the mirror, that is not you. It's not you now. That's who you become. That person that you are is encouraging that person that's in the mirror to help them maintain who you want them to be. It's just like, y'all know Beyonce?
Yeah.
Now, that's her given name.
Yeah.
Beyonce Knowles Carter. That's her actual name. But does she act like the little shy Beyonce girl when she on stage? No. I found out that she created an alter ego. Y'all know that alter ego name? Sasha Fierce. Beyonce is the one that's walking in the mall, at home. The wife, the dog. That's Beyonce. But imagine Beyonce at home, she looking in the mirror, and she get ready to perform, she get ready to get on stage. Who is she talking to in the mirror? In the mirror, she sees Sasha Fierce. Don't you know, it hit me yesterday, and it was funny to me. You can never actually see yourself. You can't see yourself. Your eyes are right here. I see your eyes. Yeah. Your eyes see me. But you don't really know how you look unless you look at a reflection. That reflection could be a nice mirror, a clean mirror, a dirty mirror, a cracked window, a cracked mirror, or even a window. Some type of reflection. And a lot of times we judge ourselves based upon a reflection. Either the reflection of what people have said or a dirty image of what we think because of a reflection. Now, whenever you get ready to examine yourself or look at the reflection of yourself, ask yourself, what reflection are you using? If it's a person or if it's a thing. And then, if it's a person or a thing, then ask yourself the integrity of that reflection. If it's a mirror, is it clean, is it dirty? What are the qualities of it? But then also a lot of times, if it's individuals, they may be related to us, they may know us, they may have been friends with us, but whatever they're saying about us, it could be something positive, but are they saying that for a moment? Or if it's negative, why are they saying that? If it's something that's true, or if it's something because they are hurt, if it's something because they're saying something negative, are they saying something negative because they may be jealous, they may be envious? They see potential in you and they don't want you to pass them. So of course they're going to shoot you down. They're going to shoot you down just enough for them to come up. And then, if they think about it, they may say something to give you the crumbs of what they didn't get. So, with that reflection, asking yourself, if you do take inventory of yourself and you look at the inventory of yourself and you write down everything based upon what people have said or even the condition that you've been through, what people put you through, or even how you see yourself. Ask yourself, based upon what you were saying, is it profitable? If it's profitable, and if that profit is long-term or short-term. Technically, what we want to do, we want to be in a position where we can work and eventually be able to retire or kind of take it easy. But if we're able to do that, lot of people, they give up because they're not disciplined or they don't want to put in the work. And to be honest with you, it's easy for us to be lazy. Sometimes we can be lazy, sometimes we can be complacent, sometimes just we allow our feelings to pop up. And I found out it's okay to be scared. Being scared, that's no problem. Just never be in fear. A scared person, they're going to fight. A scared person, they feel like they ain't got nothing to lose. But when a person is in fear, fear paralyzes you. Being scared make you think. Being scared make you do something. Sometimes do something outside of what you normally would do. But fear would paralyze you. Fear would make you want to give up. So that's one of the things we have to look at. If you're scared, that's the best thing for you to do. Be scared. Just don't be in fear. But a lot of times, if you're scared, ask yourself, if you have nothing to lose, would you continue to do it? I found out the best thing for us to do, especially while we still have that drive, the best thing for us to do is center ourselves around people that's hungry too. The worst thing you can do is have a drive, have a goal, and be around people that have more ambition. That is so aggravating. But along with you having the ambition, the drive, the hunger, making sure that you never lose your appetite, but also make sure that you allow yourself to be disciplined. When I mean disciplined, sometimes, just like as a kid, a lot of times the parent will tell us, make sure you do your homework. If you don't do your homework, you can't go outside. Or if you got a bad grade, you're going to punch. A lot of times we have to learn to our own self. Because it's easy for us to go out, do things, hang out with homeboys, homegirls, whatever like that. But how many of us are actually disciplined enough to say, you know what, I'm not going to go out. I'm putting myself on punishment because I need to do this assignment. And stick to it. It's just like a diet. When a person is on a diet and they begin to start losing weight and they see the results, it gives them confidence and they want to continue to lose weight, exercise. You know, might have had a pop belly, then all of a sudden, a couple months later, you start seeing some abs, you start seeing a little cuts, you know, you start seeing some muscles and stuff, you know, so feeling good about yourself. That's what it encourages you to keep on doing it as long as you see the results. But the results don't come out automatically. A lot of times we have to not look for the results. And then as time goes on, then you see the results. It's just like when somebody's trying to lose weight, the worst thing that they can do when they start on diet, automatically 4 or 5 times they can get on the scale. Wait. And then when you start feeling a change, give a little time, and then when you get on the scale, you look and see, and sometimes you may even just see the results first. By putting on hands that used to be so tight, now they're loose. Now they kind of slide off, and you're like, okay, let me get the scale. Oh, I lost a little weight, you know. And especially in key areas. So a lot of people, they can lose weight, but they still got a fat head. Or lose weight and they still got their gut, you know. Or, well, some of them ladies, they lose in other areas. Guys, we have it here and other areas. So,
yeah, behind the arm.
Yeah, the jiggling arms and all that stuff, you know. Well, I don't know. Let's just say we all have some areas, even for those who may want to lose weight. We have some key areas that we want to work on. So what you want to do is just make sure that you see the results, and then when you get on the scale, then the scale will show you, hey, you make some improvement. But also even with the scale, you have to know even the fat percentage. Because you might not lose weight. You might look like you may have lost any pounds, but your muscle fat percentage may have changed and shifted. Some people people may be 200 pounds and they start off with 20% body fat, but then a couple months later they look and they're still 200 pounds, but their body fat percentage went down from 20 to 8, and muscles weigh more fat. So my size, let's say if I had a 2% body fat, my size, I might be 205 pounds with a 2% body fat. But on the other hand, if I have a 20% body fat, I might be this size, and I might be a little bit wide. So that's something that, like I said, we have to look at. So when it boils down to it, looking at ourselves pertaining to the brand, looking at ourselves pertaining to what we want to do. Now, one of the things that I want to bring up, like I mentioned about looking in the mirror, talking to that person in the mirror, and like I said, you talking to the person that you want to become, talking to that person that you aspire to be, talking to yourself on a regular basis. Get a chance to know that person in an intimate level. No one should know you better than you. No one should know you. No one should spend more time than you in looking at you, investing into you, knowing more about you. When I first started doing book signings, I just thought all I needed to do was just write the book and it was going to sell itself. But I found out writing the book was the easy part. When it came down to having a book signing, what people wanted to know, hey, tell me about this book. What's this book about? I told them the first couple of times, I told them, hey, here, go ahead and read it. They said, no, I want you to tell me about it. And that freaked me out. Because I had to tell them something about this. Now, even though I wrote it, but I didn't want to talk about me. I didn't want to talk about the book. I just wanted them to look at it and based upon their opinion, if you want to buy it or not. But I found out a lot of times we determine if a person is going to support about our products. A lot of times they're not buying it because, oh, it looks nice or whatever. No. Can I convince them enough that this is something that they're interested in or they will be interested in? And it took me a little bit to think about that and really grasp that because, like I said, I just thought this, what's it about? And then I turn over to the back. And they didn't know anything about it. So them reading a little bit about it, they weren't convincing themselves. Even though they were reading what I wrote, based on what they were reading, it wasn't convincing them. So they just go, okay, thank you. And left. But when I began to start telling them about it and telling them, hey, I think this benefits you, or I think, hey, this will speak to you. Then, based upon me being able to sell the product to them, they receive it. And so a lot of times, even with us, a lot of times, we mess it up for ourselves because people are coming to us. Hey, what do you think about this? Hey, can you hook me up with that? Oh, hey, I want you to dress me up for prom. What about that? One day that's, well, no, I don't do that. Oh, I just do this on the side. What about that? You missed your blessing. Somebody, God could have sent somebody right your way just to give you an opportunity. Because right now, it may have started off with that, but a lot of times, because we don't have that confidence in ourselves, we mess it up. So, but like I said, what would help for us is to be able to talk to that person that's in the mirror and help that person to help and encourage the person that reflects on what they see. So, that would help, but then also when you see that person in the mirror, address that person based upon who you want them to be. It could be, you might want to be a doctor, but you see yourself as, well, you know, I got 13 more years of school or whatever, but no matter what, you not only address yourself as a doctor, but also you start buying doctor products. Start buying the labels, start buying things with your name on it that says doctor, blah, 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 blah. I think a lot of times we don't invest into ourselves. A lot of times we don't look past the condition that we're in right now. We just look at where we're at right now, and based on that current situation, we just stay stuck right there. And we have hope of we're going to become that one day. We hope that, but we don't do anything to make that transition from hope to reality. But I found out the most important thing we have that will really help us is our mouth. You know, I looked at, I heard about Halle Berry. Halle Berry did a movie called Dorothy Dandridge. And when she did Dorothy Dandridge, she had everybody on the set to call her Dorothy Dandridge while she was on the set, even when they said cut, because that was her mindset. She wanted to become that person. Even though she didn't win an Oscar, but she won an Emmy. That really showcased her ability to become that young lady. And she resembled that young lady. But she had to continue to allow people to call her not Halle, but Dorothy. And so with us, looking at like Madonna. Madonna was on American Bandstand. I think that was her first television appearance. And Dick Clark asked her, what does she want to do? And she said, I want to conquer the world. I want to rule the world and conquer the world. She said that, and she did. But with what we want to do, what are we saying to help us to get to that point? Are we speaking to ourselves? Because remember, you know, there's life, death, and power of the tongue. You know, we already hear negative stuff. We already hear people not just telling us we ain't gonna do it, but we already have people that ain't gonna support us to help us do it. We got many people that not gonna support us. But while we wait on people to support us, are we willing to support ourselves? Are we really ready and willing to put in the work at any means, how they say, by any means necessary? You know, Bernie Mac said, he don't care if nobody like him, he like him. You know, I like me. Mm-hmm. And you know what, I found out it is frustrating when people don't care about us, don't love us, don't support us, regardless of their family and friends. It is heartbreaking, but are we going to allow that to stop us? We shouldn't. Now, it may disappoint, but it's not going to break your stride. In other words, not allowing to make you lose your sleep and strength. That's not your problem if they don't support you. That's their problem. But we shouldn't allow their problem to become our reality, our problem. And I think a lot of times we allow other people's problem to become our problem, and we allow that problem, their problem, not only to become our problem, but to stop us from achieving our purpose. But when are we going to wake up and, in spite of what they think, in spite of what they say, just get up and do it? Because to be honest with you, a lot of times I've done it, especially being real with you, especially when it comes down to close family or family, a lot of times I found that they support you after you start seeing results. Sometimes they may not acknowledge it, but when other people start supporting you, then that's when they get on the bandwagon. But how about you go ahead and you ride, even if you're the only one on the bandwagon? What if you're the only driver and there are no passengers? Sometimes how Jesus healed the lepers, they were healed as they went. And sometimes God will heal us from the hurt as we go. Or sometimes God will heal us from those who are rejecting us and not supporting us as we go. So, for those who are going forward in spite of no help, I found out when we continue to trust God and give it to God, I found out that He will put people in place, substitute them, regardless of who they are. He will bring substitute for those who refuse to help you. He will bless you with people who will help you. And I found out the most help you'll get are sometimes either from those who you least likely you expect to help you, or from complete strangers. People that don't even know you, but they see the hunger in you, they see the fight in you. And like I said, they will invest into your brand because of what you're doing with your product. Regardless, keep on going, keep on pumping, keep on pushing, you know. But like I said, being able to address yourself, not who you are now, but who you're becoming. And also, you address that person with the title, with the position, and don't see yourself as just an ordinary person, or don't see yourself based on your current condition right now. There are so many people. Matter of fact, good example. In the Bible, God told Abram to change his name to Abraham. And God told Abraham that he was going to be the father of many nations. But he had to continue to answer to the name of Abraham, which means father of many. But he was a father of none. But he had to remember to no longer accept the name of Abraham, and start receiving the name of Abraham. And as he continued to receive it, eventually he became a father of many nations. So with us, right now, some people may be calling you based on your current condition, or like there are so many stories that you've heard. Like the young lady had, I think she had 4 or 5 kids, but eventually she graduated from law school.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Yeah. Now just imagine, right before she got her degree, they just knew her as that girl with a lot of kids that was going to school. That single mother that was going to school with all the kids. But even if they called her by that, she could have stopped. Not just by the name being called, but even her condition of trying to provide for her children. But she paused. And now, based on her drive, she accomplished what she set out for. In spite of her being a single mother with 5 kids, 4 kids, whatever. But she had every excuse to stop, but she didn't stop. But are we allowing just the minute things to stop us? Or are we allowing the minute people, or people to stop us? You know? But I think a lot of times, if we would just look at, if we want it bad enough, we will find every excuse to keep going. But if we don't want it, we'll find every excuse to stop. It's just like some people, I don't care how nice you are to them, when an opportunity comes, they're going to leave you alone. And that, like I said, that's family or friends. Some people, they're waiting for you to mess up so they can talk about you like a dog. There are some people that's right there around. They just actually, I'm like this. They got some information, or they got some things within them, and when the right time comes, if it look like there's a little conflict, if it look like there's a misunderstanding, all of a sudden you start hearing some stuff, I don't know, that person got that way about me. You know, they gonna talk about you. They gonna, I never liked you, that's why you blah, blah, blah. You gonna hear some stuff, it's gonna be hurtful, but they're just showing you that stuff been in them. They were just waiting on an opportunity to get it out. But even though they let that be an opportunity for them to get it out, a lot of times the devil uses that as an opportunity to stop you. And a lot of times we allow even if you can't run, even if you can't walk, you still make some type of motion. Even if it hurts you to your heart that you didn't fall to the ground, problem. Like I said, you have to be hungry because a lot of people, they don't care about achieving their purpose, their goal, their desire. They don't care. But also, just as much they don't care about theirs, they don't care about you making yours. They don't care. They just want to sit back and do absolutely nothing or just be a spectator, you know. But the other thing I want to bring up is being able to invest into yourself. Everything that you do, make sure that you're able to be the first one to support it. Also, like, let's just say that you want to be a basketball player. Are you taking the step to meet people that you see that are very skilled in playing basketball? And also, let's just imagine you having the ideal person like Michael Jordan. Put yourself in a position where he's the standard bearer. And one day you want to get a chance to meet up with him and talk to him. Now sometimes if we see it that way, sometimes it will actually help us to be able to one day at a time work on a goal for us to be able to get a chance, not just to meet him, befriend him. Like I said, Michael Jordan, anybody. You know, my thing is Prince. My person I wanted to be around one day was Prince.
I'm going to check that story.
Yeah. Now, I told my family in 1982, I told them I had a vision that he and I were going to be together. Now, of course, I was afraid. And this was before Michael Ray. This was during the time he came out with 1999, you know. And then when he came out with Purple Rain, and they said, "And this is brother, you think you're gonna be around men? Please, you out your mind." Yes, I told you that. But 15 years later, I wasn't on stage with Prince. Prince was on stage with me. And not just being on stage, but when I was over here, he was way over there. Like everybody was around, he came to me. And it was he and I dancing together. And eventually, being friends with some of his grandparents, some of his friends were popular. And I was blessed to be able to meet some people, and it really taught me about discipline. I found out with that type of position, that type of professional performer, they're very disciplined, they're very structured. But I had to look at myself as, if Prince is the standard bearer, what is Prince doing? Is he disciplined? Yes, he's very disciplined. Now, am I going to be willing to be disciplined enough like him? And not just to be the musician, also the businessman. George Benson, he would actually wait on the bus stop with his guitar practice. And some people thought I was crazy. Some people thought he was crazy. But who got the granted? The one that thought that he was crazy or the crazy one? You know, it's just like, y'all know Dennis Rodman? Dennis Rodman, he used to go outside and shoot. Of course, he went to soccer down the street. He used to shoot basketball. I heard, I wasn't there, but some of his classmates said he used to skip class just to go up there to the blacktop, just shoot. They thought he was crazy. But who was in the NBA? Those that were talking about him or him. And not only in the NBA, but he was in wrestling too.
He was?
Uh-huh.
I know he didn't play basketball in high school though.
He didn't.
He was like 5'7", and he had a growth spurt.
He grew up. And if you get a chance to look, WCW, during the NWO period, 97, 98, he wrestled with Hulk Hogan, he was part of the NWO.
For real?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I'm telling you, and he wasn't just, just a little shake. No, he was arm in arm with Hulk Hogan. He was arm in arms with Sting there. So you're talking about somebody that was basketball player and then playing with the Bulls. He was playing basketball and wrestling at the same time. Somebody else, Bo Jackson, Deion Sanders. Those guys, there were multiple sport players. Bo Jackson playing baseball and football at the same time. Deion Sanders, same thing. And Deion Sanders, there were so many people that wanted to clock him to see how fast he was, and he said, I'm fast enough. He never timed himself around people. And I understand that concept because there are some people, they're competitive. They want to compete with you. And if they see you straining at 300 pounds, then in their mindset, they're going to try to outdo you. Competitive. I tell people, and this is just me, I don't like working out with you. As far as competing, so what? I'm not thinking about you. I'm thinking about getting here. So I bought a gym membership. I said I bought a gym membership in February. And I'm trying my best to get myself to go. That's something I'm gonna have to work on. I'm gonna have to start working out in front of people. I don't like running. Because to me, working out is an intimate thing. And I'm not trying to impress anybody, I'm trying to impress myself. I'm trying to do this for myself because I only have one body. God issued me one body while I'm on this earth. And this body is meant to run this course called life until God called me home. But on the other hand, sometimes because we mismanage our temple, sometimes we outlive our body. You know what I'm saying?
I don't.
In other words, when I say we outlive our body, we, the real us, we still feel the charge, we still feel hungry, we still feel invincible, we still feel that we can do anything and everything, but because the way that we have mismanaged or ran down our bodies, sometimes we have a will to do something, but our body won't let us because we don't take care of ourselves. Matter of fact, so many people, they have allowed alcohol, drugs, and narcotics to just run down their bodies. And they may have played basketball in high school, and now they're 50 years old, but have had a horrible lifestyle, and they try to do the same thing that they did in high school, and they're coughing, they're sneezing, they're throwing up their lungs, all that stuff because they have mismanaged their bodies. They have mismanaged. In other words, God has already given you the skills and ability to be able to do what you need to do, but He gave you one body. Now, if I gave you that shirt and you mess it up, I'll replace it. That's no problem. I'll replace your shirt, your jacket, or whatever. But you can't replace your body. You know. And I'm gonna say this. I tell people, because there are some people that might be into being creative, they want inspiration and stuff. I'll tell people this, and this is God honest truth. You get inspired, you get stimulated. It can't come from alcohol, no weed. It's God's responsibility to inspire. Some people, they can't write unless they got a joint or unless they got alcohol. But in actuality, when you think about it, especially if we're supposed to be Christians, what's the terminology for alcohol? Another terminology for alcohol is spirits. So if you're saying that you're going to allow God to inspire you or you want to be inspired, then you're allowing foreign spirits to influence you if you're allowing or consuming alcohol. But also, whatever you allowing to influence you, that's what you got to depend upon to do it. That's what you got to depend upon to continue to inspire you. So whatever you get inspired with in the beginning, you have to continue it from here on out. And some people, they can't afford to do that. And also, you know, like I said, I've seen some of the videos on YouTube, World Star, whatever you call it. There's some of these guys, they'll easily put up a mic and start rapping freestyle, what about that? But all of a sudden, when they allow that foreign object to touch their lips, smoking or drinking, all of a sudden it's not them talking, it's not their inspiration talking. It's another spirit, it's a foreign spirit. And they don't know how they got there. But also, if they try to trace it back, they can't repeat the same thing. But if you allow God to do it, I'm telling you, God will give you some nuggets, God will give you revelation. But also, whatever God will do, He will also give you the peace to be able to handle whatever He gives you. But I say that because I see so many people and they feel like, well, they gotta get this hit. They gotta get this drag. But are you able to do that for the rest of your life? Now, I'll tell you this, like, I always say this, like, if I'm gonna be like, if I'm doing what about that? Always tell God, what do you want to tell your people? What do you want your people to have? So now it's your responsibility to get it. You know, I don't know what to say, but it's his responsibility. So if God has already given us the tools, and God has already given us the purpose to drive, then we need to rely on Him. Because He knew us while we were in our mother's womb. If He knew us, then it's His responsibility to make sure things are done. Not mine, not yours, but His. So then they give that responsibility, you know. Now, the other thing, if you have a goal, if you have something in mind, you have to see yourself and visualize yourself with it, but also every day do something that's going to make you one step closer to achieving it. One step closer. There's an old terminology that says, how does an ant eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Each day, each second, do something that's going to help you be able to get to the perfect goal or drive a you know, one thing I always do, no matter how the day been, right before you go to bed, always ask yourself while you're lying in bed, did you do anything that's going to help you to get one day closer to your purpose, to your goal, to whatever you plan on doing, whatever you want to do, whatever you plan on becoming. One step closer. If you have not that particular day, give yourself a you do double the next day. One more thing, and I'm going to take a pause for a second. One of the things I found out, like my uncle, I don't know if I mentioned this the last time, but my Uncle Ollie, Uncle Aaron, local photography, he said something to my little brother now, and he said he looked forward to waking up every morning. He looks forward to waking up every morning. He don't need an alarm. He looks forward to waking up every morning, going to work. Now that's his business. But he looked forward to getting up every morning, going to work. Now the difference is, he go to work. He don't go to a job. He go to work. A lot of us right now, we got a job. We got a job. We're hired to do a task and all that stuff. But anytime you're not fulfilling your purpose, that's a job. Now, if you're doing something that's fulfilling your purpose, like right now, let's just say about wrestling, that would be a job. Because there would be something I would love to do. That would be work. In the Bible, God gave Adam a job or work. He gave Adam work. In the Bible, that word work in its original language, it actually means energy or source from God. So, if you look at it, whatever you're doing, your passion, your goal, your drive, if you notice, if it gives you life, if it charges you, if it energizes you, ask yourself, is that coming from God? And if it is, that's part of your work, part of your purpose. I have said, God gave Adam work.
Yeah.
And in Genesis, that word work in its original language means energy or source from God. And so every time we are in our purpose, we are working. We're not on a job. We are working, and our work will produce and reveal our worth. A lot of times when we are in our niche, we can do things and it may be difficult for other people to do, but it's like easy. Because you enjoy doing it. You're not doing it with your hands, you're doing it with your heart. That's your identity. And you know, you can tell when you really attached to it, when it's really you, when it seems like it doesn't work out, it frustrates you. It gets you emotional because it's a part of you, it's a part of your identity. And especially when you put your whole heart into it, it's just like some of you guys, you'll see a grown man in the NBA or in a college championship game. They can be so close to winning and they lose. You see a grown man just break down crying because they gave their all. They were attached to it. That's their work. Now, even though they may be getting millions of dollars, but still, they didn't go to the championship to lose. They got hired on, or they were drafted to go all the way in the win at the top. Some people, they may be satisfied just, hey, at least I made it to the playoffs. But do you want to get into the game just to wear the jersey and not get in the game? Do you want, are you just on the team just to wear the jersey? To me, that's crazy. To me, that's a waste of time. I always say it like some people, when I run to say lazy people, sorry people at work, I always say they're just a waste of uniform. They could have given it to somebody else going to do something, that's going to do some work. Mm-hmm. Same thing pertaining to our purpose, our work. Are we just in it just to prove a point or just to show people, hey, at least I got some recognition. Oh, are we here to take over? Go all the way. Now, I'm gonna stop right quick. Take a little call real quick. You keep going. If anybody want to say anything, y'all want to right now.
I was going to say, so when you were speaking about how people need like weed or alcohol, in order for them to have a drive to do something. I remember how in the book of Genesis, God said he gave us dominion over the earth. And I think it's sad sometimes that he gave us dominion over, everything on the earth. But there's things like a plant that has dominion over them.
Something as small as, let's say, even a little cigarette. Mm-hmm. It can control a person. It alters a person's attitude. If a person starts having a nicotine fit, they get agitated. They get cranky.
Sure.
You watch a person that haven't had a cigarette break, a smoke break in a while, they miserable. But to be honest with you, and this not minimizing a person's feeling, because that's a real addiction.
Yes.
And it takes God for them to be able to get delivered from that. Or it could be something that they see, you know what, health issues. Like Pastor was saying, when he was smoking, he said when he went to the doctor, and the doctor told him if he don't quit smoking, somebody's gonna raise his family. And that woke him up enough to realize, you know what, I can quit. He quit cold turkey. But there are some people who they tried to quit cold turkey and they had a relapse. Now, not beating them up, whatever, but hey, there are people who need help and who need support.
Yeah.
And so for those that have been in that situation, we can help them. You know, hey, I need some help. Hey, in the accountability department, instead of us talking about them, we can help them. Hey, man, look at it. We're here to help them. Or, you know what? We're going to ride this together, you know. And not allowing any excuses to make us throw them to the curb, you know. But, you know, it's, you'd be surprised what people will put in front of their purpose. You know, people would allow their own gratification. People would allow, like I said, excuses. People will allow just anything, because a lot of times when they start seeing things working out, they become successful. A lot of times, some people are not prepared for success. Some people, as loving as they are, some people, they can't be successful because they're going to end up mismanaging what they get. It can be financial. They're trying to help everybody. Everybody they come up with their hand out to them. Oh, here you go, and then all of a sudden, when it comes out to tax time, Uncle Sam, he gonna want his cut. But you can't pay Uncle Sam because you gave everybody else. You trying to buy a house for mama, daddy, big mama, your cousin, that she got 9 kids, like 10 different baby names, you trying to help her out or whatever, you know? And we don't know how to say no. I think that's one thing that really helps us. That's one thing that really helps us. If we can be able to start telling people no, one thing that's going to help us so when we become successful or when God bless us, then we know how to properly manage, because a lot of the blessings that God gives us, and we're not careful, we end up giving up our blessing and it becomes a curse. We end up cursing them and we curse ourselves because we're not giving it and we're not becoming a good steward. And we're just giving it to people when God didn't assign us, God did not tell us to do this, you know. There's one thing to give a person, you know, a little assistance, but not giving them a whole check, you know. So that's the way I see it.
There's some people that they find their purpose, and then when they actually get into it, like actually get into the hospital as like if they're becoming a doctor, and they find that that's not what they want to do. So then like they wasted their whole life thinking that that's what they wanted to do. And that's what I fear, because I want to be a vet. But when I get into the clinic, am I really going to like being there?
Can I take back all that you said?
Yeah.
So like, for me, it's like I want to become a nurse and that, and I hopefully become a doctor still one day, like a nurse practitioner. But to become a nurse, I have been so challenging, like so hard. And so I've been wondering, this is what doctors say, this is not for you, you're not listening, this is not what I want you to do, or this is God saying, I want you to work hard for it, so you know, you appreciate it more, something like that. You know, I don't know what it is. I'm like torn with, this is what you make me work hard for it, to like show me something that I do have the strength and that I can, you know, make me value it more, or if he's trying to tell me, hey, like this is not what you do. I've tried everything, and I've been exhausted all my options, and still like I'll keep door. But it's like it's my do find a door. I try to find a way around it, but it's like still a door, you know.
Now, glad you said that. It hit me earlier, and I forgot to put it down. But I think the first thing when you don't really know what your purpose is, or if you're searching, the first thing you need to do is just like when you go to college. Some people go to college and don't know what they want to major in. So what do? They want to take care of their basics. And the same thing in life, take care of the basics first. First of all, the basics being working on punctuality, being on time. Working on people skills, communication, being able to be confident, I was saying earlier about being able to sell yourself, being confident and being able to articulate, being able to look in the mirror and use that person in the mirror as an audience for you to be able to talk, for you to be able to learn how to be able to articulate, but also even be able to learn how to communicate in silence. Because a lot of the times we wait upon people to respond, and then all of a sudden when a person don't respond, then we, did I mess up? Well, you know, then I say anything. Then we begin to doubt ourselves. But in the midst of that silence, don't allow that silence to define who you are. Because there are some people, they may be just listening, and some people, because there's no response, that doesn't mean that they don't receive it. Like some people at church, they got to hear, amen, yeah, let's encourage you. Okay, but you might be a distraction to somebody that's really trying to listen. So being able to learn how to operate where just because somebody is silent, they might be marinating on what you're saying. Because there are some things you hear and it catch you later on. Sometimes it may catch you like, man, okay, now I heard that, oh man, yeah, she said that, now I heard what she said, now it made me think about a situation I was in, just like what she said. Man, now I'm seeing myself. Because at first, you know, the message that she was saying, the words she was saying, you know, it sounded good. But now I'm able to identify with what she's saying. So the first thing, well, I was mentioning about working on your punctuality, also ethics. Always make sure that you're a person of integrity, of ethics, because at any moment, especially when your steps are ordered by the Lord, at any moment, God's going to send somebody your way that's going to take you to the next level. So you got to be ready. You got to be disciplined. You got to also make sure that people that are not like-minded, you got to distance them. You got to distance them from them. Because that person that God did not assign you to help, that can actually be a distraction where you turn around trying to help them, and the person that God is sending to help you walk right past you. And because you were distracted, somebody else get that blessing that God had for you. So as you begin to try to figure out what you're supposed to do, take inventory of everything you're already doing right now. If you don't get paid, let's just say something that you love to do, but if you don't get paid for it, but your house will be taken care of, all your needs will be taken care of, you don't have to want for anything. Let's say you're on a military base. You don't have to, anything you need, you just tell somebody and they'll get it for you. What would you want to do? Whatever you would want to do, start that. Now, like you were mentioning, there are some things that you tried, and it didn't work out, change your mind and everything. First thing, just being able to kind of take it easy first. Because there are some people that God got to push and they go forward, but then there are others God got to pull back. Because there are some people, because of their personality, some people, they'll run, and they need to slow down. But there are others, they're not doing anything God tells them to run. So it might be a contrast where, like, y'all two, you might be the one that God tells you, take it easy. Why are you doing this? Those are the questions that we need to ask ourselves. Whatever we're doing, why are we doing it? What is the significance of it? Why are we interested in this? And we do a study on that and see does it define you. Because your work, it makes you get up. It makes you want to get up even if you don't get paid. You don't mind losing sleepless nights to do it. It's something that you can't see yourself not doing it. It's something where you see yourself and you're like, man, you want to make sure you put in your all. But also you see yourself as, I don't care what it takes, I gotta do it. I gotta do it. But if that's everything that you do, then there may be something that you may be avoiding and you're trying to feel, you're trying to find out what you're trying to feel. So with that, just take into write down everything. So that way you may really just take the time to figure out, is this something that I really want to do? Because a lot of times we impulsive. Once we impulsive, then we can allow that to become a distraction. We can allow ourselves to become our own distraction. But make sure you do your research and don't look at the money. Because I don't care what you do. If it's your niche, money gonna come to you. Money gonna find you. And not only money gonna find you, but you gonna find you. It's nothing sadder than for somebody to bless you. And nothing sadder than to see somebody doing something that they hate to do, something that they're so miserable to do. And they can get paid, but all of a sudden, they're so miserable because it's not fulfilling them. But then there are other people, they may be making a comfortable living financially, but they're so peaceful because what they're doing is their identity, it's them, you know. That makes sense? So, like I said, with that spiral, right? Like I said, every day, talk to that young lady that's in the mirror. Because the young lady that's in the mirror, the one that you are becoming, she's going to remind you, are you following the path that's already planned out? Because that who you are and who you're becoming, they will meet. But you have to continue to talk to that person. You got to be real with yourself. You got to be transparent with yourself. And if there's anything that you're avoiding about yourself, that's actually hindering you from you knowing more about yourself, but also reaching the person that God has for you. Because let's just say, like, there are some people that avoid dealing with issues that they have dealt with, and not realizing that the issue that they have dealt with is actually part of the person plan that God has for them. It's just like so many people that may have gone into alcoholism or even sexual abuse or whatever. There are so many people that have ended up creating shelters, creating women's shelters, or even became counselors because they end up looking at themselves as a homework assignment for them to get some answers to help them. And after they got the answers to be able to help them and for them to get off their feet, now they want to make sure that no one else feel abandoned or feel helpless or hopeless. But they had to deal with their issue to help others to deal with their issue. But also in them dealing with their issue, it enabled them to the purpose that God had for them. Now, I'm not saying it was God's will for them to, get, assaulted or whatever that. No, that was the devil that did that. But in spite of that, what the devil and the evil God turned up for, they're good. Not just they're good, the one that is creating the program to assist the women, but also to even give back. Because in their work, they're creating jobs for other women, and that job will help the women get off their feet to create work for themselves. It's like a domino effect, So that makes sense. So, like I said, that's the way I see things, and I know, I think about when I started playing guitar. I don't care what it took. I made sure that I practiced. Sometimes I would go to sleep practicing, but also there's something else that I did. Along with, like I was saying about centering yourself around people that are hungry, centering yourself around great people. Don't look at just average guitar player. No, look at the best guitar player. Going to a Prince concert, after he done played the guitar, playing the bass, drums, piano, all that stuff, you know what it made me do? It made me go home and pick up my guitar. Like I said, let's say if this person is a rapper, this person is rapping and the greatest rapper, let's just say if it was Tupac. That person went to a Tupac concert. He enjoyed himself. Also, not just seeing the rapper on stage, but also look at the merchandise. Look at not just one aspect, you gotta look at the whole aspect of things. Mm-hmm. Like it could be rapping, it could be like I said about wrestling. You know, many people they just look at the wrestler, what he doing in the ring. But also you gotta look at, hey, he got his own shirts. He's advertising himself. Or we advertising ourselves. You know. With the advertising, I wanted to bring this up. This with the advertising. With the advertising, I found out that me having a website, I found out a little trick that really was kind of cool. The best thing that we can do to help ourselves would be, I mentioned about the brand, but do you have a name for your brand? Your name for your brand, it could be your name, your actual name. Or it could be a nickname, like I'm saying, Beyonce, Sasha Fierce. But with that, you want to make sure that your audience is not just the people that know you. The people, not just the people that went to school with you. Your audience should be the world. Look at yourself as going global. Now, along with that, God is, as long as you know what God told you to do, you don't have to worry about the audience coming to you. God is going to provide the audience. You just follow the script to get to your purpose and plan that God has for you. A lot of times we get so busy to try to find the audience, but like I said, it's just like getting ready to perform at American Airlines Center. God has already given the people the appointed time, the appointed place to be at for your performance. But a lot of times we're so distracted, we're not rehearsing, we're not practicing. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, when we get on stage, we ball. Or when we get to American Airlines Center and we get frustrated that we don't see anybody in the audience. But not realizing, even though it might be 20 minutes before showtime, and you don't see anybody in the audience, you might have some late ones. You might have some people that come at the last minute. Or who knows? What if it's traffic? It may be preventing people from getting into the building. We're so busy looking at the people in the audience, the lack of people in the audience, and not realizing, hey, even if nobody show up, I'm there to perform. Even if it's just one person in the audience, you still perform as if the crowd is packed. But it's actually showing, are we doing it because we love to do it, or are we doing it for the people? So I brought this up because with the advertising, this is what I found out that was kind of interesting to me. Now, let me see. One second. Okay, good. Okay, so with this, there, okay. I'm gonna use this for an example, or say this is a post I did today. Now, it's on my website. The best advertising that there is right now is social media. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all this stuff is free. This is on my website, and I said about brand. Now, my brand is Brother Brand. But anytime you get able to have a brand, always use hashtag. This is hashtag right here. Anytime you have that on the web, not just on the website, anytime you have it on the internet, anytime you hit it, it's going to always link to something else.
Okay.
If I hit hashtag Brother Craven, anytime Brother Craven came on the internet, it'll show. Now, the way I did this, my name not the hashtag, but I use the link of it. It's gonna go to my Facebook page. To my Facebook page.
Pretty smart.
To my Facebook page. Yeah. I wanted to make sure if there's anybody looking for me, they have easy sensitivity to find. So same thing with you all. Make sure that you, number one, don't limit your audience. Some people, oh man, well, you know, I'm gonna be performing for the black crowd, I'm gonna be over here. Money's money. But also, who knows? It's just like it can be me being an entertainer, me being a dresser, or whatever. Just because I'm black, I should not shut out the other races or cultures because of my ethnicity. And there's so many people that shortchange their blessings because they're looking at color of the skin instead of this individual that I can be able to help, I can give services, I can be able to provide, I can be able to do whatever I need to. But we shortchange ourselves because we're looking at, well, you know, he don't understand my, or, you know, I'm just doing it for my people, I'm doing it for my people. But that's shortchanging yourself, you know. We ain't got, come on, wait, that's crazy. You know, but I did that because in whatever you're doing, even if you don't have your goal right now, figure out, it can be your, like I said, it can be your name. Whatever you want to do, go ahead and prepare for it right now. Be prepared for it. Get your name out there. I'll tell you the most important thing right now is get your name out there. So that way, when you do get into the field, purpose plan that you want to do, you feel like doing, then at least people already know your name. Now, people know your product. Now you just introduce them to your material. Everybody knows your brand. Now you just introduce them to your product. So, in that, even if they don't support that particular product, they may even bless you anyway because they're going to support your brand. Some people, they may not like those mini ribs potato chips or those mini ribs crackers. They may not like that, but they might like those mini cheese meals. So, but guess what? Look at the brand. It's still Nabisco. So, each one of these are products. But even though they may not like this, they may like that. Who's getting compensated? Nabisco. No matter what. So, the same thing with us. A lot of times we get discouraged because, well, they don't support me, they don't support me. They may not support you right now. They may not can support you right now. But if you keep on putting in the work and be consistent, I'm telling you, people bless people who are consistent. There are so many people that will give to you. They may not have the money right now. They may not be able to support you, but that doesn't mean that you shoot them away. And just because you're able to continue to be friends with them, be able to be respectful towards them, whatever, what they'll do, they say, you know what? Years later, you know what? I didn't get a chance to support you when you had your book, when you had this and that, but I want to give you something right now. There was a young lady, she didn't buy my book when I had the book signing, but I gave her a card, and I still spoke to her and everything, and to me, it wasn't just about selling the book. It was about ministering to the person. My main thing is, hey, somebody might come to the table, they may not have a dime in their pocket. God may have me to give them a book, or God may have me to pray for them or whatever. And there was a young lady that contacted me, I think it was like 2 years later, and she remembered me, and she said that she wanted to get a couple of books to be able to give to some of the guys that were in the family. Now, I could have gotten up and said, oh, she didn't buy my book, so what? She didn't buy it at that time. But when the time came, she bought plenty. And so that's why I say a lot of times, if we just not look at the people that come towards us or the people that maybe face us, don't look at them as, well, I just want them to buy my book and that's it. Look at them as a return customer. But more than a customer, look at them as you want to develop a partnership with them. Because it may be a book that they need, it might be a word of encouragement, it might be prayer that they need. But also I'm saying token, there may be something that God may be setting you all up for you to be able to be blessed by them. You just never know. So that's something I think that we all really just look at, and I'll wrap it up very quick. So, but being able to look at, I mentioned earlier, how bad do we want it? Are we ready to put in the work? Are we hungry? Do we want to stay hungry? If it's something that you're doing, if you lost your appetite, then you need to check that out. It may be that thing that you shouldn't be doing, or it may be just you just burnt out. It may be just, you might have just gotten frustrated. Things may have happened where, and it may be like I said, it may not be the thing, it just may be you because of the care, the words, the terms. Sometimes other responsibilities you words on us, But also, like I said, continue to be ready. Preparation, we gotta be prepared. That's something that I think a lot of times we take for granted. Preparation. It's just like 5 drills. When we were in school, we used to do so many 5 drills, and then when an actual 5 happened, then we freak out. But we gotta remember, we've been practicing all along, but it reveals when we were having 5 drills, you didn't take it seriously. Tornado drills, if it's something that you're so accustomed to doing it, make sure you pay attention, like I said, even to rehearsals. There's so many people, they just go through the motion, but not realizing that that's actually preparing you for when the time comes. You never know when showtime comes. Like I said, God will always, with those people who are prepared, God will always set the opportunity, and He's going to put it right in front of you, and you don't have long to, let me think about it now. It's going to be right, it's going to be in real time, it's going to happen just that fast. But you got to be able to respond. Your rehearsal is supposed to prepare you to have an immediate response. So that's something that we have to prepare ourselves for. Rehearse. I think the bass player named Nikki West. She said that she played with Prince one time, and Prince told her to just practice on his one note until he come back. He was gone for like 2.5 hours. But he would come back, okay, you're doing good, keep on playing, and leave the room, come back another couple hours later. But practice. You know, there's all saying that practice makes perfect. Practice will make perfect. Practice makes improve. We should be able to improve from where we were yesterday to who we are today. But also it should give us the drive though to continue to practice so we can become better tomorrow. You know? And like I said, just looking at the timing, looking at everything, taking inventory of everything that we do and everything that we are, so that way when the time comes, we know how to market ourselves. A lot of times, especially us, we don't market ourselves properly. Sometimes we mismarket ourselves. But it takes us being able to spend quality time with ourselves and be able to research ourselves so that way we can understand, okay, is this something that I'm ready for to be doing? Sometimes we trying to live other people's dreams and not even knowing what our own dreams are. Sometimes we trying to fulfill other people's desires or trying to fill other people's shoes, and we walking around barefoot. You know. And so the main thing is, what do you want to do? And if you don't know what you want to do, at least you're honest. But at least for right now, start examining, like I said, taking the basics of life. And at least start looking at and examining the things that you're passionate about. And just because you're passionate about it, that doesn't mean that everybody won't be passionate about you being passionate about it. You know, everybody was laughing at the basketball player, Spud Webb. Spud Webb, for time to say, I think he was like 5'7". 5'7". And he talking about playing basketball. Oh, please. But when the time came, that brother had some springs release upon him. He was able to dunk. And not only did he play good, played in the NBA. Everybody knows Spud Webb is. But he didn't allow his physical status in comparison to other people to stop him. He looked at it as it was a challenge. And he was willing to take the challenge. I mentioned some time ago about the Israelites. When the Israelites were looking over to the promised land, they had 12 spies. 10 of them said, oh man, those giants, we're a grasshopper to those giants. But 2 of them, man, we can stump them uncircumcised Philistines, you know. Now, if we had went on the majority, the majority said, hey, we're going to get killed. But instead of going with the majority, going with the minority, man, we can do this. And look at it. Them 10 who said that we're grasshoppers, they didn't make it to the promised land. But those 2 that said we can conquer, we can get it, they did. Joshua and Caleb. Those 2, they made it. So the same thing pertains to us. You may have some giants in your life. You may have some giants that you may be facing that you want to go into this purpose and plan that God has for you. Like I said, you may not know exactly what it is. You may have this feeling that you want to do something. You may have a feeling like it's more than this life than what you're doing right now. And that's a good thing. Every time you wake up every morning, you have another opportunity to get it right. You might have messed it up for the past 40 years. Yeah. But asking God to forgive you, but also you forgive yourself. There's a lot of people, they have allowed themselves to go to the grave with their dreams because they have not forgiven themselves here and here. They feel like it's too late. I read a couple of weeks, this happened several times, but there are many people that have 70 years old, 80 years old, they have gone back to high school to get their diploma. And I remember years ago, somebody said, you 70 years old and you don't get your diploma? She said, well, even if I don't go to school, I'll be 70 anyway. Might as well be 70 and get what you want to get. Same thing with you. Don't they? I feel like maybe because of the previous success or blessing that God has allowed me to achieve. Now, do I know everything? I don't know everything, but Anytime I want to put my mind to meeting somebody, or even if I have a desire to meet somebody, or be around somebody, or know something, learn something, God always make a way. But I ain't gonna lie, has it been easy? No, it hasn't been easy. But it wasn't meant to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But also, if it was easy, everybody would be taking your dream. Everybody would be living your dream. But it ain't. But nobody can make that decision but you. It's just like this street right here. At one point, this was just land. But it took somebody having a mindset of, you know what? We're going to knock all this down. We're going to build some houses. And as they build some houses, then they put a pathway to get to the house. And sometimes before that house was built, before the pathway was made, for the streets to be made, they had to tear down everything that was already there. They had to tear down the trees. And you think about it, anytime there are trees, anytime there are farmers, there are animals. So just imagine you getting on animal territory. You're running off the animals, you're running off the wood rats, you're running off the dogs, the wild animals. You're running them out of their property, out of their dominion. And then you knocking down everything. And you started not from the ground up, from a low ground, because if you're gonna have a bathroom, you gotta have a system. And that system gotta go underground. So you gotta turn down everything. Sometimes you gotta turn down everything that's familiar to you that might have been even hurtful or harmful. But knowing that the end result will be residents with the street, and also it will occupy people who have a need. There are people who have a need for your service, a need for your purpose. Your purpose will fulfill people's needs and desires. And that's where you got to look at it. Even if you might be just a local kid from Oak Cliff, but there's somebody maybe overseas that may be in need of you. And one of the things I found out, when you put God into everything, when you trust Him with plans, God will move a multi-million-dollar company from overseas and put it right at your doorstep. I mean, I can't put into words everything I've seen God do, even just for one, if you want to say little bitty saint. You know, someone who just was crazy enough to trust God, you know. But we'll stop right there. You know, I just think that if we utilize the tools that God has for us, we can achieve some awesome things. And even with Moses, God told Moses to use the rod that was in his hand to part the Red Sea. And he parted the Red Sea utilizing what was already in his hand, but also the most important thing, one of the important things was not only God parted the Red Sea for him to have a way of escape for the Israelites, but also when he made it to his destination, God unparted the sea and it drowned all the enemies that were after them. As long as we do what God has us to do, we don't have to worry about our enemies or our haters. To be honest with you, they shouldn't even be a second thought. The main thing is allowing that intensity, our purpose, our plan that God has for us, allow it to be the hunger to help us to be creative enough to trust God and make Him responsible to fulfill the purpose and plan that He has for us. You know? But questions, comments, suggestions?
No, you did good. You got every topic.
Well, as we get ready to wrap up, and not just me here, but I'm seeing it right there, and I have to remind myself because I say it like this. I always say Brother Prater is the brand, but June is the individual, and sometimes June has to be spoken to by Brother Prater. And even like at work, when I look at, like, when I'm at work, everything goes well and I feel confident and comfortable in doing my job as Officer Crater. But then in my private time, in my private life, June bombed. June failed. June would be naive. June would fall for the overdose. But Officer Crater wouldn't. And one of the things I found out, I had to learn to allow Officer Crater to come into the private life of June, to utilize those same principles. So that way, just how Officer Crater can pick up when somebody trying to run a game or whatever, allow Officer Crater to mentor June. So that way, he can be able to start realizing when people are running a game or whatever, you know. And so the same thing with us. Your best person, the best person that God will want to speak to you, the best person that God would want you to listen to is the person that's in the mirror. You know, a lot of times we wait upon somebody to give us an encouraging word, to give us that sound advice. But if you think about it, if you talk to the person that's in the mirror just like it was somebody else, we give some people some awesome advice, but we don't even utilize our own advice. But if we just start recording ourselves and listen to ourselves, talking to the person that's in the mirror, you'd be surprised what you say to that person in the mirror will also help and minister to the person of the reflection of the person that's in the mirror. You know? So I think if we really just start taking the time to really just talk to ourselves and not talk at ourselves, that would really help us. I think a lot of times when we wait upon people to talk to us and give us advice or give us the encouraging word or whatever, it becomes frustrating when we don't receive what we really want from them, or they don't tell us what really hit the spot. But we know what we want to hear. That's why God gave us a mouth. What you expect to hear from others, or what you expect others to say to you, God gave you a mouth for you to say it to yourself. You know, so that way, when you say it yourself, you can hear from your own ears. Because you should be able to trust your own self. You should be able to trust your own self. And who knows, that person that you may be waiting upon, somebody to say some encouraging word to, what if they have a hidden motive? What if they have an agenda? What if they're ready to use you? Because a lot of times, like, I used to go to the barber shop up here, and there was somebody going, hey man, you look good, man. I ain't seen you in a while, man. Man, you look good. Man, I see God gonna really use you. God gonna really bless you, man. So be ready, man. I see it, man. I mean, God gonna take you somewhere, man. Say, you got $2 for me, man? Yeah, loan me $2, man. We get a box of crust and a biscuit, man. You loan me $2. See, they said those things. Now we took it to heart. We received it, but we receiving it, but it's with a motive or an agenda. He don't really mean that. He don't really care about that. He said what he wanted. He wanted the money. And sometimes people will say anything and do anything to get what they want. So instead of you waiting for somebody, say it to yourself. Get reacquainted with the person that's in the mirror. And when you get reacquainted with the person that's in the mirror, then when opportunity comes, then that person that was always talking to the person that's in the mirror will be ready to promote themselves when opportunity comes, when God sent an opportunity to come right in front of them, you know. So like I said, that's something we have to look at, and I'm guilty of looking at the speaking skills, talking skills, whatever. Last thing I'll say. The way I look at it, I look at the message that God gives me is greater than the nervousness or the shyness that's within me. So with you might be shy as all I do. You might be shy. You might be reserved. But there is something that God has deposited within you. There is information that God has deposited. God has put a spiritual investment within you, a spiritual account within you. And that person that is going to be in front of you, they really need it. This is a life or death situation that they're in. And God has given you such a great amount of value, of gift of words. And it's going to be more important than you being in your comfort zone. I don't care how I don't like to scream again, but if there's a kid that's walking down the street and ready to get hit, if I can't reach them, I'm going to yell as I'm running. If you're a lifeguard and you see me drowning and I'm coming up the water, I'm going up the water, coming down, all this stuff, I'm panicking. If you can't get a hold of me, what are you going to do? You're going to have to knock me out. You're going to have to knock me out so that way I can be subdued and I can be at your command and I can be thrown off the safe. Now, you knock me out. That hurt. Should I take that personal? No. Even though you hit me, but that hit was for a good reason. So I could be rescued, so I won't drown. And a lot of times we got to look at, even for those people who may abandon us, who don't support us, look at that as a good knockout. So that way we can be off the shore and keep from drowning. Because their rejection is actually our blessing, because their rejection, where they're abandoning us, they leave room for God to come in and send somebody that's going to be there to support us, to nurture us, to give us not just what we need, but what we want, So, I mean, that is the way I look at it. But I hope you pray something was said. I just think that if we start right now, just looking at where we at right now, and from the night before tonight to 16th, tonight before we go to bed, even if you didn't do the things that you should have done, or wanted to do, to help you get one step closer to your purpose, your destination, or whatever, ask God to forgive you, and you forgive yourself. We'll start tomorrow. Make plans, and also write encouraging words where you can see. I don't care if it's while you're lying in bed. Matter of fact, have the sticky notes where it's visible. It can be while you're lying in bed. It's someplace where you can actually see it while you're lying in bed. And then also, it can be right by the door, right behind the door. Have those constant reminders. Because I'm telling you, with those constant reminders, of course the devil will talk to you. He's going to talk to you throughout the day. But how about we start putting a little, just like in buildings, we have to put fire safety equipment. We have to put fire extinguishers in corners and stuff. The same mentality that society have with that, how about we have that spiritually for ourselves, because when we're going to the purpose and plan God has for us, the devil does not want us to go there. Our enemy does not want us to go there. So how about we already put spiritual extinguishers right there in place, so when we see the fires of life come, we already have God's word right in front of us to help us and sustain us when the time comes. Not if, when the time comes, it's going to come. But will anything you want to say? Well, I hope and pray that something was said, and I hope and pray that each person that wants to fulfill their personal plan, they seek God. Only God knows the thoughts and plans. God knew us. God made us. God had everything pertaining to our life. The perfect will for us already made. And for us to seek Him, that's the only way we can get it, because if we don't seek Him and we try to get it ourselves, we might mess up. And so for us to maybe we just talk to God and ask Him to help us, and for Him to reveal the purpose and plan, and for us to be sensitive enough to understand it, hear it, and respond in obedience. And so My prayer is for God to help us in every aspect of our life, for us to be able to not allow the distractions, not allow frustration, disappointments, heartbreak, heartache to stop us from obeying God and not listening to God, and even for us to be able to consult God and also asking God to help us to center ourselves around people that's hungry enough, but most importantly, that's obedient enough to Him first, and helping us to be able to fulfill the purpose and plan for us, and also even forgive ourselves from even the foolishness that we may have done, the disobedience that we may have done in the past or even in the present. God, we're speaking right now, God, that you help us, God, to be the men and ladies that you call for us to be. God, we're speaking, God, that you help us, God, to be able to, first of all, put you as the first priority in our lives, God. Help us, God, to be purpose-minded, God, but most importantly, godly purpose-minded. God, we speak, God, that you help us, God, first and foremost, God, to seek you like never before, God. As we seek you, as we obey you, God, you will reveal everything that we need according to your riches and glory. God, you said, God, Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and then all these things shall be added unto you. God, but that means all these things shall chase us down if we doing your will, if we obeying your will, if we put you in first priority, but most importantly, the only priority in our life. God, we speak, God, that you help us, God, to be able to, God, to help one another, God, to let them know who you are, God, based on our life, not just by what we say, but most importantly, how we live right now. In the name of Jesus, it's said about everything you stand for, about every problem, about every confusion right now. In the name of Jesus, Lord, we surrender our will and our ways to you. God, help us, God, to walk in forgiveness, walk in obedience. God, help us, God, to not be moved by our emotions, God, but help us, God, to be moved by faith, God. Help us to be moved by your obedience, God. And we thank you, Lord, for the praise, for the worship, God, for the opportunity, God, for the privilege that you have given us, God. We thank you, Lord, for everything you've done, everything you're going to do. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.